to the SpiritPreneur Symposium. I'm Susie Beiler, and I'm here in the studio today with Anahata.
Hello.
Thank you so much for being with me. I'm really excited to have you here because you've been doing this for a long time. Mm-hmm. How many years have you been?
So about 18 years.
You've been a SpiritPreneur for 18 years.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. So how did you get into it? How did it start for you?
I think that my path, I run a shamanic healing center here in Sedona, and that's what I do, so that you just know what my path is.
Yeah.
Being a soul guide for people, kind of deep emotional clearing work and spiritual awakening work. And so I think that started when I was in my dark night of the soul, for sure. Because this was not my path, and I was...
You started your business while you were in the dark night of the soul.
I started it because of that.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was because of that dark night that I was looking for answers, solutions, tools that I most certainly did not have. And I needed to look out of the box, because traditional therapies and traditional approaches I knew just were not going to be a fit for me. And even though I tried different things, I'm like, this is not it. So I think it catalyzed me into exploring shamanism and emotional clearing and spirituality and vibrant health and meditation, yoga, cleansing, fasting, and like really deep work. And I fell in love with it. I fell in love with those modalities that were healing me, that were inspiring me, that were turning my life around. I fell in love, and so I just kind of dove into studying, training, and learning about those, and it became a way of life for me.
I know so many people are relating to this right now. This is our stories are different, but in a way they're the same. It's very interesting how we transition away from regular 9-to-5 into doing healing work for ourselves, and then sharing with others. Yeah. So tell me, what is your favorite client experience or favorite healing that a client has experienced working with you?
It's been thousands of clients, so there is. I have to say that there isn't.
Is there a favorite?
Isn't just one. But there is a favorite experience, and that is the shift.
Yes.
From when somebody comes into my healing practice, or they are coming to a weekend inspirational workshop, or they're coming to a retreat, and they're I can just see the separation between themselves and their soul, the disconnection between themselves and their happiness, the walls and the protection around their inner child, and like how heavy, lost, disconnected, and overwhelmed. And so I have clients that are going through some heavy things, and I think that what I love and my favorite experience is to watch the transformation. Yeah. And so someone will come like this, and then even after one session, they're just alive again. And sometimes that transformation will happen over months or years with a client that, one particular client that I can think of is just, addicted to a couple different substances, including alcohol, and she had just lost her son, meaning like she wasn't going to be able to have custody. That was going back and forth because she was, not really taking care of herself and being mature, and his well-being was at stake. Yeah. And that whole journey was over time shifting, helping her with the tools, and now she's a great mom. She meditates, she's into yoga, she's into health, and she runs a wonderful business. She's successful, she's happy in a healthy relationship. And so that's kind of the longer term journey. But after 1-2 hour session, the lights turn back on.
Yeah, you can see it in the eyes.
Everything. You're like, oh, there's a smile. Like, oh, you're alive again. Yes. And they feel it too. Yeah, and so I think that's my favorite experience. And sometimes it's immediate right there where they just get the aha moment. And sometimes it's a lot of tools and a lot of hard work where they really turn their life around. And so since I've had the chance to see clients over time and over years, the transformation, whether it's short or long term, is just what I live for. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
I feel you. Absolutely. Now, in your everyday life, in order to be a healing practitioner, we need to have a certain degree of integrity. How do you maintain your integrity, as it applies to your business and to your personal life? How does that look for you?
I think that, for everybody following their soul passion, I think it's really important to know what is in alignment with your path and what isn't. And so I think, to me, integrity is discernment that says, is this the direction of my business? Is this the client I want to work with? Is this in alignment with really who I am?
Say that again. Go back to is this the client I want to work with?
Is this the client I want to work with?
Just take note of that one.
Yeah, discernment. And I think because a lot of the opportunities are not the right fit for you.
That's right.
And so part of integrity for me is about saying no just because, hey, do you want to work on this project? Do you want to co-facilitate this thing? And I'm like, is this in the highest alignment? Is this in support of what is my soul path or my soul journey? Yeah. And is this other party impeccable in integrity as well? Because I'm now merging into an agreement with them, even if we're doing a podcast.
Guys, this is gold.
Like that level of discernment, because I realize my energy can get pulled off if I'm not in integrity with about who I partner with in business.
That's right.
When I say yes to certain clients or no, and different projects. So I think that external integrity is super important, and integrity with myself is like, we're human, my goodness, and any place I even try to fudge that a little bit, it's going to be right there with a wonderful lesson for me. And so I think integrity is this classroom that is like a tightrope. And when you're not in integrity with your soul's mission or with caring for yourself, with what's really true or ethically for yourself or your clients, there'll be a classroom that gives you a wake-up call, honestly, and to just see it as that instead of, well, this door closed or this business agreement fell apart. Well, that's because it was the wrong agreement in the first place. Or my health is having a challenge. Oh, because I've been taking care of all my clients, but not taking care of self. And so any ways in which you're not being in integrity will most certainly be shown to you. And to know and embrace that process, because it's trying to get you back on track again and again and again. And I'm constantly getting reminders, feedback, course corrections, humble
pie.
Oh my gosh. And so I get to be really gentle.
Yeah.
But honest with that journey.
Wow. Anahata, I don't know if I could have said it any better than what you just did, and I really want to invite you guys to rewind that part and listen to it again, because there was so much in that short amount of time. There was so much that you shared with us.
Yeah. Integrity is a big one.
It's everything. In my mind, when you're a spiritpreneur, it's everything.
Well, I think along with that, yes, especially because you're not behind a big organization with a professional whatever, that it invites, as an entrepreneur, for you, for Susie, for myself, to be really impeccable and even more professional.
Yeah.
And so whatever your craft is, whatever your passion, whether it's a product or a service, whether it's music or healing or graphic design, whatever is your mission or your path, at least for right now, because it changes, by the way, and we have to keep listening and refining. Am what I'm doing still working?
Yes.
And is it time to evolve it or change it or shift it? It's not a straight line. It's constantly moving. Maybe
you've gone through an expansion and now your soul wants to lead you to the next thing.
And it's like, oh, I was doing that. Maybe I'm not doing that anymore. And exactly that growth. And that's also integrity, is to be listening to that, not holding on too long to the way things was. I've closed businesses, but they were thriving. And it's just because Spirit was guiding me to open a different part of myself, to learn, to grow, and to not stagnate. But the integrity also, to me, applies to a very, very high level of impeccability around professionalism. And so, especially for me in the healing arts, and I know you feel this way too, is ahimsa, meaning nonviolence. I want to be really, really sure that I'm impeccable and in integrity with anybody's energy field as a client or a student that I'm coming into contact with.
Yes.
Because...
Or even the trolls on YouTube or Facebook.
Well, they're going through their process too,
right.
and how that gives me the opportunity to stay in integrity and to not meet dissonance with more dissonance, and not take personally someone's criticism. And especially you put yourself out there. You put yourself out there, and you make bold moves to get on camera. It's easy for somebody in the stands that's sitting on a couch to throw stones at you. And, hey, you're out here. I'm out here just doing the work. And so I think integrity is also meeting dissonance with as much consciousness as you can muster in a given moment, which sometimes isn't a whole lot. Sometimes you really rock it, and sometimes you're like, okay, I took the bait that time.
Like you said, we're human.
So human. And I think that's being in integrity too, is not to convey to your listeners, your fans, your audience, your clients, or your students that you're anything other than that.
Yeah, we're not perfect.
Oh my gosh,
we're not perfect.
And that's that's perfect. Being perfectly human.
Yeah. Now let's switch gears a little bit and talk about clients and acquiring clients. Do you have any suggestions for people who are trying to get more clients, for people who feel like, I know what I want to do, but I don't know how to get clients to do it with?
Right. That's great. And I would start with one of the things that I said earlier, is kind of knowing what your mission is and what your path is, whether it's a particular skill or a particular gift. To know what it is just as much as important as to know what it isn't, so that you can market your message properly. That says, this is what I do for this kind of person. And believe me, your service or product will not fit everybody.
Right.
And don't try. And I think that's out of integrity, and I think that's where we lose business, is when we try to be everything to everybody, and instead of saying, hey, this is what my gift is. Even if I'm learning this other thing that isn't yet fully developed, I'm practicing here. I don't know how to do this, so I'm not going to claim to know how to do that. But I do have a gift, whether it's divinely ordained or whether it is a skill that I have been practicing, or maybe a combination of, I have this gift and I'm learning how to refine it. I'm learning how to deepen it so that it has a greater impact and effect. So I think the first thing is knowing what you do for who and why, and what is the benefit that they're going to get because you've got this thing or you do this thing. And so that's super important.
Yeah.
And also be professional. I mean, in any entrepreneurial business, have your business card, have your website. And I think a lot of times in the conscious realm, we think, oh, I don't want to be bogged down with technology, or I don't want to bring it into a linear form and be behind the computer and all of that. And I say, you know what? That has been my big growth area that says, wow, I don't want to be the best kept secret. And if I'm here on a mission to inspire millions to shine, well, then I actually need to know
how are people going to find you?
Search engine optimization and keywords. And I've been, I'm being stretched to be behind camera and articulate your message and have products and services that you can package that people can experience, and have your website convey that effectively. So I can't tell you how many people go on a website and they're like, oh, it doesn't work, the button doesn't click. And I'm like, I'm not going to trust you with anything, because you're not even, putting enough professional integrity around your business card online, which is a website.
Interesting. So I'm also hearing you say, put yourself out there.
You've got to put yourself out there, and that takes courage, because you're like, oh, here comes fear of failure.
Yeah.
Here comes fear of ridicule. Here comes, well, who are you to, the circle of friends maybe you've been in, and if you start moving out of that and stepping out of playing small, then sometimes your biggest haters come from your family or your friend. You're like, your best friend, it triggers insecurity or jealousy, and then all of a sudden your best friend is like, oh, you think you're that?
Yeah, no, this is speaking to something really important that emerging spiritpreneurs go through.
Everybody that's going to step out of the mold or the inside the box and is going to step out with a unique product or service or something that's soulful to them, it's not going to be everybody's thing, and you've got to be willing to receive somebody saying what a kook, or that's ridiculous. One of my friends, a common friend of ours actually, who's a musician, but years ago she's like, oh, I'm just so afraid to get my music out there, and I know that I can touch people's soul with my music, and I'm just so afraid to get my music out there. And I said, she goes, I'm afraid people won't like it. I go, honey, some won't. Some people will think it sucks. The truth is, but there is that audience that will be so moved. And so, okay, don't bring your music into a biker bar on a Tuesday night. Okay, you probably will find your audience, and that's the part of marketing that says, whatever your gift is, be very specific about what you do for who and why. Yeah. And then also do your research about where do I find those people, and what is my channel? Is my channel YouTube? Is my channel in person? Is my channel, I am great over the phone, I do phone things? Is it, hey, I'm just going to make the product and you buy it. I don't need to be involved with you. I'm just going to be behind the curtain over here and make an amazing product, and I want to put it out there, which might mean I might need to get a booth. I might need to get branded labels and go through the rooted reality of getting feet on the ground so that a beautiful dream has an album behind it. It has a label. It has a business card. It has a product or service that people can tangibly experience from you. So it takes some grounding.
Absolutely. This is so great because you're saying some very different things that my other interviewees have said. So I love the well-rounded, all different perspectives, all different approaches. Now I have a really important question for you.
Okay.
When you first transitioned from your job, and you started charging money for your spirit services,
that's weird.
What was that like for you? What was that like for you?
Well, I mean, it was a journey because as I was kind of cultivating my intuitive abilities, and the first thing that came to me, as I was doing training at the same time to refine my intuitive gifts and hands-on healing and all of that, and I wasn't quite ready to put my business card out that's what I do, because I was still developing my strength and my abilities within that. Yeah. But what was really solid initially was being able to channel divine spirit, and specifically in card readings. Yeah. And it was just so easy, and the messages came through, visions would come through, and I learned to not block that. And so I used to just do it initially for friends, and people had such powerful experiences. And so you're going to start getting that validation when you say, hey, I'm just going to play my music here, or I'm just going to offer this to friends or family. I'm going to put it out there, get some feedback, and then you get some validation. And if you get some criticism, you get to say, okay, is there something I could improve, or is that just not my audience? Right? Is there something I can improve? Yeah. Okay, so somebody said they didn't like it. You're like, okay, the music was too loud. Hey, thanks for that refinement. Let me try it again. And so in those first months, years, I was very humble and open to receive feedback. And so I started first with just friends and family, and then I was like, I was facilitating retreats at the time. I said, I'm just going to offer this by donation. Half an hour, just so I could get my feet wet and practice a lot. Yeah, I love it. And just like as a musician, you just kind of want to book a gig. It just says, I want to do this in the garden. Start getting out there. Start getting yourself out there. If you're a graphic designer, then offer to do that, for friends and family, so that you can build some experience, but also build kind of a rapport of deliverables that where you have kind of culminated some experience, some tangible. And then I started offering by donation, and I just let people, based on how it felt, make a donation. And then I was like, as I added that, it was really validating and very, very powerful. And I was able to accept, oh, you felt that was worth $25? Awesome, that's $25 more than I thought it was worth. Initially, because I was nervous and uncomfortable, and I'd never done it before. And so you're building that confidence, and they're like, wow, they thought it was valuable. Okay, cool. now I begin to realize that it's valuable. And I think that's why I think doing it a lot of times starts to build your confidence, where you can say, yes, I can deliver this. And then that's where I felt a lot more in integrity, saying, for a shamanic healing journey, which was, like a signature session where I started bringing in the healing touch and the emotional shamanic clearing with it, and kind of creating my own offering that blended kind of that intuitive spirit guidance with hands-on healing. And it was just so powerful, and every single time delivered. And so I was like, you know what? This is an hour or an hour and a half of my time. I'm skilled, I'm experienced, I'm going to deliver something powerful. Yep. And when I had enough experience under my belt and enough training as well, coupled with Spirit's guidance, I was like, yes, I'm ready to really charge for this. And over the years, I've been able to say, yes, with this much experience, I'm able to charge more for that because of my experience, my training, my deliverable. Yeah. But you do have to get yourself out there, and
start somewhere.
And start small initially. Put your music out there, gift it to friends. And then you go into this place that says, okay, now I'm going to charge for it. And you've got to know your market, because if you put it to the wrong market, you'll think you have the wrong product or the wrong service. No one's buying. It's like you're talking to the wrong audience. Yeah. Or you haven't priced it properly, or you haven't.
Or there's something energetic within you that you haven't unlocked.
Right. That, and also, I haven't learned how to translate my product or service into a benefit-driven experience for my client.
Haven't learned how to translate the value. People.
Right.
Yeah. One of the things that we learn how to do eventually, hopefully, is to translate the value of what we're offering.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
And that's where it's like, we've got this holistic, essential oil cream. And it's just like, okay, what
does that do?
Not like all of the ingredients and it's organic and all of that. It decreases fine lines, and it youthens this, and it increases elasticities, makes you feel younger. Like, what are the benefits? Yeah. What am I going to take away? What problem are you going to solve for me? How are you going to move me from A to B with your whatever? How are you going to move me through the experience?
Anahata, you have given us so much gold. Like, I'm just sort of like sitting here in awe. You've given us so much today. Thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure. I'm passionate. I want people to not only find their soul's gift and follow their mission, but also
have practical ways
to get it out there, because there's magic in you. There's a product or a service or a solution, an idea, whether it's just you or whether it's in combination with a team or a partner or whatever. We know that there's magic and power inside you, and want to support you to get your gifts out there on the planet, because we need those solutions.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
We invite you to stand up and begin offering your gifts. And whether it's by donation or whether you set up a business, however you feel called to do it right now, just get started.
And and then you're going to learn. Don't have this expectation, okay, I'm going to be a millionaire in 3 seconds. It's just get yourself out there and then learn. What is the feedback? Okay, I tried this thing, it didn't work, or it worked. Okay, how can I do it differently? What could I improve? And try it again. Spiritpreneurs are really good at trying something, humbly learning what was an epic fail, and then trying it again and ask for divine guidance and try it again. And okay, I'm going to have to get in front of the camera, or I'm going to speak on a stage, I'm going to write a book, or whatever it is that's outside of your comfort zone. Just go for it.
And use all the spiritual tools that you have and apply it to now your spiritual business.
Yes, and yes.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm honored. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Amazing. You shared so much.
Thank you. And thank you, Susie, for just, being a conduit to help others get their magic out there. So thank you, sweetie.
Absolutely. Thank you.
My pleasure.